bad things happen. Bad things happen to all of us. And I'm asking everybody to look at the bad things that happen in a new light. We are taught at a very young age that when a bad thing happens, we should feel bad. We should be afraid, or we should be gloomy, or we should be depressed. When that's not always the right way to deal with bad things. Some things are going to happen to you where you will feel that way. But if you can, while that bad thing's happening, try to see it in a different light, you might be able to get through that bad thing quicker and easier. And what I mean is, oftentimes bad things happen to us and we feel very bad. I mean, like depression, we are crying, we're sad, let's say it's a breakup, okay? You are in a relationship with somebody, you have a breakup with someone, or you break up, or they leave you, they decide they don't want to be with you anymore. You automatically feel it's a bad thing, and you get very into your emotions, very bad. Like you're crying, you're angry, you're upset. But then you come out of that, you've done a bit of healing work, you've looked at the situation, and you realize maybe 3 months down the road that it was one of the best things that ever happened to you. And you think, I just went through all this turmoil and all this pain and felt horrible, but here I am 3 months later realizing that it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Let's say it is a relationship situation and you're in this relationship and the relationship is going pretty good, but it's not fabulous. And of course, it ends for whatever reason. Obviously, it wasn't that fabulous, or it wouldn't have ended. Or somebody did something that ended it and they'll later regret it, or whatever the situation. But my point is, just because something appears to be bad at this exact moment does not mean that it was really bad. And a little change in perspective could help you get through this bad event or this bad feeling much quicker. And this is not to say that you should not do the healing work, because no matter what the situation is, you should always do the healing work. But soon after you do the healing work, you can change your perspective and look at it as if it was destined to be this way. It was supposed to happen this way. Yeah, it felt horrible. Yeah, you felt bad. Yeah, It was difficult, but it was probably one of the best things that ever happened to you. And you will see that down the road. But if you can open your perspective and realize while you're going through it that later on down the road, you may view this very differently. You will heal faster and you will save yourself so much torment. So much torment. Especially when we're talking about relationships. Relationships that end and you feel really bad about, and you're not really sure why, and you're questioning, could I have done something different, or could I have done something better? You know what? It could be God telling you you deserve something better than what you were in. It could be your guides steering you out of a potentially bad situation so that you can come into a beautiful situation at a later date. You still have to do the healing work. I don't want you to think, well, if I just change my perspective, everything will be okay. That is somewhat true, but you still have to look at the situation. You still have to deal with the pain, the emotional pain that you suffered through that situation. So I'm not saying change your perspective to avoid doing the healing work. I am saying do the healing work, but then realize that there may be more to this situation than you are seeing. That maybe the universe is conspiring to show you something even more amazing. A better way to live, a better way to love, a better way to get your job done, a better career path. I mean, it doesn't have to be all about love. It can be anything. And maybe you're doing, and you're not listening. And you're not changing, and you're not adjusting. And maybe, look, the universe just wants you to be thriving and happy and blessed. You know, the more of us that are thriving and happy and blessed, the better life is. And you have angels and God and your guides and everybody who is really trying to get you on that path. And sometimes they have to give you something really difficult and really hard to get you to wake up and see what it is you're supposed to be doing, especially if you're not listening, if you're not seeing the signs, if you are blindly going through life doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. If you continue on the path, the angelic realm, your guides will force a painful situation on you to get you to wake up and realize what's going on. And it isn't because they're mean and they want to see you in pain. They are trying to get you to see what it is that's going to make you happy. You may be oblivious to what's going to make you happy. You may have a limited perspective on what could be. They do not. They know. And they are trying to push you in the proper path, down the proper path, so that you can experience these wonderful, fabulous things. They don't want to see you hurting. They don't want to see you in pain. They don't want to see you crying. They want you thriving and living beautiful life. And imagine if everybody is thriving and living in a beautiful life. How fabulous could life be for everyone if we were all happy and serving our correct purpose? But unfortunately, in our human experience, we aren't always open to the spiritual side. We're not listening. We're not seeing the signs. And we really haven't sat down and done the work to figure out what exactly it is that's going to make us happy. Or we don't know the next steps to take to get there. And if you've been, the divine is very patient. Very patient. And I would almost say for my life, maybe a little too patient. But they're very patient, and they will nudge you and nudge you and nudge you and nudge you. They will get you to a point where they will exhaust nudging. And eventually, if you don't pay attention and you don't see what needs to change, they will smack you. They'll smack you right upside the head, and they will make something happen that you will never forget. They don't want to do that. They want you to get it. They want you to live a simple, easy life and see the signs and be honest with yourself. And I think that's probably the biggest key, being honest with yourself. Being honest with what it is you truly want. What it is that you truly desire. A lot of people have a hard time being honest about what it is they really desire. And I'm not talking about being honest with other people. I'm talking about being honest with yourself. Me, I'm homebody. I don't like being out in the world. I really don't. I'm intuitive. I find being out in the world very chaotic. I have a hard time with the energy of a bunch of different people, like in a work situation. I can never work in a building with like 200 people. It would drive me insane. And that's because I'm picking up on people's energy constantly. I can feel everything that's going on around me. I like to be at home. I like having my own business. I like running my business the way I want to run it, the way that works for my customers. I like doing what I want to do in a day, not what I am required to do. If I want to get up in the morning and paint something, I can do that. I adjust my schedule all the time, however I want it. And I like it that way. But a lot of people would be like, oh, I could never stay home. No. I could never do that. This is where I'm happy. At home is where I am most content. And I don't look at being at home like a problem. I don't look at it like I'm isolated from people. I kind of am isolated from people, but I want it that way. I enjoy that about my life. So your perception doesn't have to fit anybody else's. And you don't have to explain why you like something or explain who you are to anyone. But you do have to be honest with yourself about what will make you happy. Do you like your 9 to 5? Do you like going to the gym? I mean, look at everything in your life and ask yourself if you really, truly enjoy doing that. And if you don't enjoy doing that, what do you have to change to get to a point where you're doing what you love to do, what you can't wait to wake up and do? And don't change that for anybody, because your happiness is the only thing that matters. You can't make other people happy. You have to make you happy. And sometimes, in order to get to that happy place, bad things happen. So if you realize that, if you get to a point where you can say, you know what, this really bad thing just happened, and you don't have to share this with anybody. That's kind of the thing. You can do this on your own. You don't have to tell anybody how you feel about this. But bad things happen. And while that bad thing is happening, if you can just realize that this bad thing that's happening to you could be the best thing that ever happened to you, you will move through that bad thing much quicker. You will find some ray of sunshine in your future. It will solidify to you, while that bad thing is happening, that this is not permanent. You will not always feel bad. The sun will come out. The sun will shine again. Nothing, whether it's positive or negative, ever lasts forever. And you are the one that decides how long you suffer for. If you are in a bad situation and you just think it's bad and you feel sorry for yourself and you play it over and over and over in your mind, then you're going to stay in that bad situation for a long time. Much longer than you probably need to, especially if you're doing the healing work. But if you are in that bad situation and you can say, I'm in a bad situation, this is a bad thing that's happening, how do I get myself out of it? If that's something that you need to look at, so that I can see the sun again, so that I can be happy again. Or if it's something that you feel has happened to you that you didn't have any control over, you still have to know that bad things happen. But bad things happen so that great things can happen. And if you truly believe that great things are coming, that is exactly what you'll get. Miracles happen. And sometimes bad stuff happens right before the miracle. And that is the universe's way of taking control and making sure that you are a happy, healthy person. So just accept the bad. Accept the fact that you are in a bad place right now, but you won't be soon. And you'll be amazed at how much easier it is to deal with this bad thing or this thing that you perceive to be bad. And I wish you all wonderful and great things in your life. But no, there will be bad. Bye.